There is a part of your dog's day that you probably don't think about so. It happens early, quietly, without any clear signal that something important is happening. To you, it is just the morning. The same sequence you have repeated so many times that it barely needs attention anymore. You wake up, move through the house, follow a routine that feels automatic. But for your dog, this moment is not routine at all. It is monitoring. And what they observe in these first moments does not stay in the morning. It follows them into the rest of their day. In this episode, we will explore how your morning routine, even in its smallest and most unnoticed details, begins to shape your dog's energy, behavior, and emotional balance long before any walk, command, or interaction formally starts. Because what looks like a dog reacting to the world is often a dog responding to a pattern that started much earlier than you think. The morning is not neutral. Humans tend to treat mornings as a reset point, a new beginning, a fresh state where the day has not yet fully formed. But for a dog, the morning is not neutral. It is uploaded with signals. The pace of your movement, the sound of your steps, the way you open doors, prepare things, or shift from one space to another. Even the silence between actions carries meaning. Dogs never wait for clear direction to begin understanding their environment. They are constantly reading it, assembling small pieces of information into something that feels predictable. And predictability, for a dog, is not just luxury. It is direction. When your morning is calm, structured, and consistent, your dog begins to organize their own internal state around that stability. Their energy aligns with the rhythm they are experiencing. But when the morning is rushed, fragmented, or unpredictable, something else begins to form. Not necessarily chaos, but anticipation. Energy without a source. One of the most common misunderstandings about dogs is the idea that their energy comes from physical need alone. That if a dog is hyper, it must simply need more exercise, more stimulation, more outlets. And sometimes that is true, but not always. Because energy, especially in the early part of the day, is often not generated internally. It is shaped externally. A dog that experiences a tense, rushed, or inconsistent morning does not just have energy. It carries forward a kind of unresolved state, a readiness that has no clear direction. This is why some dogs seem restless even after a walk, why they struggle to settle, even when their physical needs appear to be met. The source was never physical to begin with. It was atmospheric. The subtle buildup. What makes this difficult to notice is how subtle it is. There is no single moment where the shift becomes obvious. No clear point where you can say, this is where the behavior started. Instead, it builds. A slightly rushed movement here, a delayed routine there, a moment of inconsistency that seems too small to matter. But your dog is not measuring these moments individually. They are experiencing them collectively. And over time, these small variations begin to form a pattern that your dog starts to rely on, even if that pattern is unstable. Control without awareness. Dogs are often described as reactive, but in reality, they are highly adaptive. They adjust not just to what you do, but to how you do it, the tone behind the action, the intention behind the movement. And this creates a situation that many owners do not fully realize. Your dog is adapting to you, even when you are not aware of what you are expressing. This means that your morning routine is not just something you follow. It is something your dog learns from continuously. Overly energeticid. At this point, it is worth asking something that might feel slightly uncomfortable. When your dog seems overly energetic, restless, or unable to settle during the day, where do you believe that energy actually comes from? Is it something inside the dog? Or is it something that has been building quietly through the environment they are experiencing? And more specifically, could it be starting earlier than you have been paying attention to? I'm curious how you see this in your own dog. You can share your experience in the comments, because this is one of those things that often looks different from the outside than it feels from within your daily routine. Stability as a signal. What dogs respond to most is not perfection. It is stability. A morning does not need to be slow or ideal to create calm energy. It simply needs to be consistent enough that the dog can understand what is happening without needing to anticipate unpredictability. When actions follow a recognizable pattern, the dog's role becomes clearer. There is less need to guess, less need to stay alert for sudden changes. And with that clarity, energy begins to settle on its own. Not because it is suppressed, but because it no longer needs to remain active. When the pattern breaks. There are also mornings when the pattern does not hold. You wake up later than usual. Movements become faster, less predictable. Small actions that normally follow a quiet sequence begin to overlap or disappear entirely. To you, it feels like a minor disruption, something temporary, not worth much attention. But for your dog, this is where the signal changes. Because dogs do not measure time the way humans do. They measure consistency. And when that consistency shifts, even slightly, it does not go unnoticed. The absence of a familiar step can be just as meaningful as the presence of a new one. This is often when you see a different kind of energy emerge. Not necessarily excitement, and not exactly anxiety, but something in between. A heightened awareness. A subtle readiness that lingers longer than expected. And what makes it confusing is that nothing major has happened. The walk still comes. The food is still given. The day continues as usual, but the beginning was different. And sometimes, that is enough to shape everything that follows. Over time, your dog doesn't just respond to your morning routine. They start to predict it. And once prediction replaces observation, something subtle changes in their behavior. They begin to anticipate your movements before they happen, adjust their energy before any clear signal is given, and settle into a rhythm that is no longer fully yours, but shared between both of you. What looks like understanding is actually adaptation built on repetition. And the quieter the routine becomes, the more powerful this loop grows, shaping not just the morning, but the entire emotional tone of the day that follows. The invisible influence. Perhaps the most important part of this is how invisible it can be. There are no obvious signs pointing back to the morning. No direct connection that clearly links your first actions of the day to your dog's behavior hours later. And yet, the connection is there. Quiet, consistent, and easy to overlook. Which is why many attempts to fix behavior focus on what happens later. More exercise, more correction, more engagement. Without realizing that the foundation has already been set. Your dog does not begin their day when you decide it starts. They begin when you move. When you shift the environment from stillness into activity. And in that transition, something is communicated, whether intentionally or not. So the next time your dog's energy feels confusing or slightly out of place, it may be worth looking not at what is happening in the moment, but at what happened before the day even had a chance to unfold. If this perspective gave you something new to notice, you can subscribe to follow more episodes like this, where we explore the quieter parts of how dogs experience the world. Because sometimes, the behavior we see is only the surface of something much earlier and much deeper.